God says, I have been waiting for you to come back, the door is still open. My beloved child, I need you to hear something today that I have been wanting to say to you for a very long time. Not as a lecture. Not as a correction. Not as a reminder of everything that went wrong. But as the most honest and the most tender word a father can speak to a child who has been away. I have been waiting for you. Every single day that has passed since the distance began, I have been standing at the end of the road watching for you. And today I want you to know something that the distance may have made you doubt. The door is still open. It was never closed. Not for one moment. Not after one mistake or 100. Not after the months became a year and the year became longer than either of us expected this to last. The door is open. I am here. And everything I want to say to you begins and ends with this. Come back. Just come back. Because I have been waiting. Tap the like button right now if you believe that God's love does not have an expiration date. Because what this message is going to do is show you how completely and how personally that love has been directed at you through every single day of the distance. Drop a comment below and type "coming home" if this message is reaching you in a place of distance from God right now. Just those 2 words. Because saying it out loud is often the first step in actually doing it. The distance between us. My child, I want to talk honestly about the distance first. Because the distance is real and I am not going to pretend it is not. Something happened between us. Maybe it was gradual. The slow drift of a life that got busier and louder until I was somewhere at the edges rather than at the center. Maybe it was sudden. A moment of pain or disappointment or loss that felt like betrayal and created a fracture that you did not know how to repair. Maybe it was shame. The weight of something you did that made you feel too unworthy to come back. Maybe it was confusion. Questions that arose that your faith did not have answers for and that slowly eroded the certainty that once came easily. Maybe it was the church. The people who were supposed to represent me who wounded you instead and whose failure made proximity to anything connected to me feel unsafe. Whatever created the distance, my child, I see it. I am not minimizing it. I am not asking you to pretend it did not happen. I am simply telling you that none of it closed the door. I want to tell you something about what the distance has felt like from my side. Because you may have assumed that my silence during the distance meant indifference. That my apparent absence meant I had moved on. That the lack of obvious supernatural interruption in your life meant I was not paying attention. My child, that is not what the silence was. The silence was not my absence. It was my patience. A love that does not chase in a way that forces. That gives freedom, because freedom is what makes a return genuine rather than coerced. I did not chase you with pressure. I waited. Because I knew that the return that would mean the most to both of us was the return you chose. Freely. When you were ready. Because something in you said it is time. And that moment is now. What I saw while you were away. My child, I want to pull back the curtain and show you what I was watching during the time of distance. Because I was watching. Not with judgment. With love. And what I saw was not what the enemy wanted you to think I saw. I saw a person who was doing their best with what they had. I saw someone who was carrying more than they could comfortably hold and who was managing it with more grace than they gave themselves credit for. I saw the moments of genuine goodness that no one else noticed. The kindness you showed when you did not have to. The patience you extended when exhaustion would have justified irritability. The loyalty you gave to people who may not have fully deserved it. The quiet faithfulness to your responsibilities even when motivation was low. I saw all of it. And it moved me. Not because those things earn your way back. You never stopped being welcome. But because they showed me the person I made. Still there. Still reaching toward what is right even in the distance. I also saw the pain. The specific pain that the distance was covering. The wound that the distance was protecting. The question that the distance was avoiding having to answer. Because sometimes, my child, the distance is not rebellion. It is grief. Or confusion. Or exhaustion. Or the self-protective response of a heart that got hurt and learned to keep its distance from anything that felt too close to where the hurt happened. I saw that. I have always seen that. And my response to it is not judgment. It is the same response I have always had to a hurting child. I want to hold you. I want to sit with the pain. I want to be the presence that makes the wound feel less unbearable rather than more. And I saw the moments when you almost came back. The days when something happened that made you think of me and for a moment the distance felt negotiable. The song that came on unexpectedly and did something in your chest that you were not prepared for. The crisis that made you instinctively reach toward me before you remembered that you had been keeping your distance. The quiet morning when the beauty of something in the world around you made the thought of its creator feel suddenly very near. I saw every one of those moments. And in each one I leaned forward. Because I saw the door opening from your side. And every time it opened a little I was there. On the other side. Waiting. Just waiting. My child, if this is landing in a real place today, I want you to do something. Leave a comment below and tell me one word that describes where you have been. Just one word. Not the whole story. Just the word that captures it. Lost. Tired. Angry. Confused. Ashamed. Hurt. Distant. Whatever it is. Because naming where you have been is the first step in leaving it. Why the door is still open. My beloved child, I want to address something directly because I know that for some of you the idea that the door is still open feels too good to be true. Too generous. Too gracious. You have been away long enough or done enough in the distance that you have started to believe the door must have closed. That there is a limit to how long I wait or how much I forgive or how many times I welcome back a child who left. I want to dismantle that belief completely today. Because it is not the truth about who I am. The door is still open for 7 specific reasons, and I want to name every one of them so that not one of them can be argued against by the voice that has been telling you the door is closed. The first reason the door is still open is because my love does not have conditions attached. My child, my love for you was not given because you earned it. Which means it cannot be lost because you failed to maintain it. The love I have for you was decided before you were born. Before you had done anything to merit or demerit it. Before you had one success or one failure. before you had one moment of faithfulness or one moment of wandering. I loved you before any of that existed. And what existed before your choices cannot be undone by your choices. The love is unconditional. Unconditional means without conditions. Which means no condition you have created through the distance changes it. The second reason is because my grace is bigger than your history. My child, I know your history. Every chapter of it. And my grace is bigger than all of it. Not barely bigger. Infinitely bigger. There is no version of your story that exceeds the capacity of my grace to cover it. No distance traveled that my grace cannot bridge. No wound inflicted or received that my grace cannot heal. No failure committed that my grace cannot redeem. The Bible says where sin increased, grace increased all the more. Which means the greater the distance, the greater the grace available to cover the return. Your history is not an obstacle to coming back. My grace is a highway built specifically for the journey home. The third reason is because the cross settled this permanently. My child, the sacrifice that my son made was not a sacrifice with an expiration date. It was not a grace extended for a limited time. It was the permanent and complete and final settlement of every barrier between you and me. Every sin. Every failure. Every moment of turning away. Every season of distance. Every chapter of your history that made you feel too unworthy to return. All of it was addressed at the cross. Permanently. Which means the door is not just currently open. It was opened by an event in history that cannot be undone. The cross happened. And the door it opened has never closed and will never close. The fourth reason is because I have never stopped calling you. My child, if the door had closed I would have stopped calling. But I have not stopped calling. Every pull you have felt toward me in the distance was my voice. Every moment when something in the world around you pointed you back toward me was my hand arranging the signpost. Every dream that surfaced with more weight than ordinary dreams was my word reaching you through the channels of sleep. Every person who said something that caught you off guard and made you think of faith or of me or of the life you left. All of it was me calling. Because you do not call someone back through a door you have closed. The door is open. And the calling is evidence of it. The fifth reason is because the prodigal's father is my most accurate portrait. My child, the story Jesus told about the father who ran toward his returning son is not a parable about human love. It is a description of my love. Of who I am. Of how I respond to a returning child. The father in that story did not wait for the son to arrive and then evaluate whether the repentance was sufficient and then decide whether to restore the relationship. He saw him coming while he was still a great way off. And he ran. He ran toward him before a single word of the rehearsed speech was delivered. He embraced him. He interrupted the apology to call for the robe and the ring and the sandals and the feast. Because the return itself was enough. The son coming back was all the father needed to celebrate. That is who I am, my child. I am running toward you right now. You do not have to finish your speech before I embrace you. Just turn around. Just start walking back. And I am already running. The sixth reason is because your purpose still needs you. My child, the calling I placed on your life before you were born did not expire during the distance. The gifts are still there. The assignment is still written over your name. The people whose lives are connected to your obedience are still waiting. They may not know they are waiting for you specifically, but they are in the places where your purpose was designed to reach them. And they are unreachable by anyone else in the way they are reachable by you. The distance has not canceled the calling. It has delayed the deployment. And the calling is beckoning you back, not just for your sake but for theirs. Come back, my child. They need what you carry. And so do I. And the seventh reason the door is still open is simply because I said so. I am the Lord and I do not change. I said my loving kindness is everlasting. I said my mercy endures forever. I said nothing can separate you from my love. I said I will never leave you nor forsake you. I said I know the plans I have for you, plans for a future and a hope. Every word I have ever spoken over your life is still standing. Because I spoke it. And I do not take back what I say. The door is open because I declared it open. And no amount of distance or time or failure can override what I declared. Beloved, this ministry exists to reach the people who are at a distance and who need to hear that the door is still open. If this word is the one that helps someone find their way back, I want you to be part of making sure it reaches them. Scan the QR code on your screen or use the link in the description below. $5 or $10 or $25 or $50 or $100. Whatever is in your heart. Your seed is going into the work of calling people home. What coming back looks like. My child, I want to address something practical because sometimes the desire to return exists alongside a genuine confusion about what returning actually involves. Some people stay in the distance because they are not sure what the return is supposed to look like. They think it requires having it all figured out first, or reaching a sufficient level of regret, or having resolved every question that contributed to the distance, or having found the right words to express the full weight of the season. I want to simplify this for you today. Coming back does not require any of those things. Coming back requires one thing: turning. The prodigal son came to himself while feeding pigs. He had not yet resolved his situation. He had not yet found the right words. He had not yet figured out what the future was going to look like. He simply came to himself. He recognized where he was compared to where he could be. And he turned. He got up and he went back to his father. That turning is what returning looks like. And the details arrange themselves in the presence of the Father once you are there. So what does turning look like for you specifically? My child, it looks like the thing you are doing right now. Stopping long enough to hear. Being willing to receive a word that might ask something of you. Letting the pull in your spirit that brought you to this message be more than curiosity and become the beginning of genuine movement. It looks like saying something in your heart that sounds like, God, I am not all the way back yet, but I am turning. It looks like the honest acknowledgement that the distance has not produced what you were hoping it would produce, and that something in you knows where you actually belong. That turning, beloved, is what I have been waiting for. And if it is happening in you right now, I am already running toward you. 7 things I want you to know about what happens when you turn back. The first thing is that I respond before you finish turning. My child, you do not have to complete the return before I respond to it. The moment you begin to turn, I am already moving toward you. Like the father who saw his son while he was still a great way off. The movement toward me is met by my movement toward you before you have taken more than the first steps. The response is immediate. The welcome is not contingent on the completeness of the return. The second thing is that I do not bring up the distance. My child, when you come back, I am not going to rehearse the details of how long you were gone or what you did while you were away. I am not keeping a record of the distance to present to you upon your return. The Father did not list his Son's failures before embracing him. He simply embraced him. When you come back, what I want to talk about is not where you have been but where we are going. The third thing is that restoration is immediate and complete. My child, when the prodigal son returned, the Father did not reinstate him gradually. He did not put him on probation. He did not say, "We will see how you do and then decide your status." He put the robe on him immediately. The ring. The sandals. The feast. Complete restoration. Without delay. Without conditions. Without a waiting period to prove worthiness. When you come back, the restoration is immediate and it is complete. The fourth thing is that the gifts and calling are still yours. My child, the gifts I placed in you and the calling I decreed over your life did not transfer to someone else while you were away. They were held for you, waiting for you, ready to be activated the moment you returned and said yes to the assignment. Nothing that was yours before the distance is no longer yours. It is all still yours. And it is ready to be deployed. The fifth thing is that the community you need is available. My child, coming back does not mean coming back to the exact community or the exact expression of faith that was present when you left. It means coming back to me first. And as you come back to me, I will guide you to the community that is right for this season of your life. The people who will receive you well. Who will not make you feel judged for the distance. Who will celebrate your return the way heaven celebrates it. That community exists. And I will lead you to it. The sixth thing is that what you lost in the distance can be restored. My child, the years the distance consumed are subject to my ability to restore. The time. The growth that could have happened but was delayed. The relationships that suffered. The opportunities that were missed. I am the God who restores the years the locust has eaten. And the restoration I offer is not just a return to where you were before the distance. It is the restoration of what the distance cost plus the wisdom and the depth that the distance itself produced. Because even the distance was not wasted. It became part of your story. And your story belongs to me. And the seventh thing is that the joy of coming back is unlike anything else. My child, there is a specific joy that belongs to the returned prodigal that is not available to the person who never left. A joy that comes from knowing what the distance felt like and what the return feels like by contrast. A joy that understands grace in a way that only the person who has needed it most can understand it. The joy that is waiting for you on the other side of the turn is going to be one of the most profound experiences of your life. And it is available to you right now. In this moment. If you will simply turn. 7 declarations for the one who is coming home. My beloved child, I want to close this message by speaking 7 declarations over the return that you are making. Whether the return is complete or just beginning. Whether you are running back or taking your first tentative step. These declarations are for you. Receive them as words from the Father who has been waiting for exactly this moment. Declaration 1. I declare that you are welcome. Not conditionally. Not tentatively. Completely and unreservedly welcome. The Father is running. The robe is ready. The ring is waiting. The feast has been prepared. You are welcome home, my child. Come. Declaration 2. I declare that your past does not define your future with me. Every chapter of the distance. Everything that happened in it. Every way you feel you fell short. None of it is the definition of who you are in my eyes. You are my child. You are loved. You are chosen. And your future with me begins from the moment you turn. Not from the clean slate of a past that never had difficult chapters. From right here. Right now. As you are. Declaration 3. I declare that the shame that has kept you from turning is being removed right now. The voice that said you have been away too long. The voice that said what you did was too significant to be covered. The voice that said the door closed even though you were afraid to check. That voice lied. And the shame it was producing is losing its grip on you right now as you receive this truth. You do not have to carry the shame into the return. Leave it at the door. I have already dealt with it. Declaration 4. I declare that the calling on your life is being reactivated right now. The gifts that have been dormant in the distance are beginning to stir. The purpose that was written over you before you were born is resuming its movement toward fulfillment. The assignment is still yours. The people who need what you carry are still waiting. And the reactivation of everything that was paused during the distance is beginning right now in His moment of turning. Declaration 5. I declare that the community of the returned is being prepared around you. You are not going to walk the journey back alone. There are people who understand the distance because they have been in it. Who understand the return because they have made it. Who will walk with you and strengthen you and celebrate with you in ways that only people who have been through something similar can. That community is being prepared for you. And you will find it as you move toward me. Declaration 6. I declare that what was lost in the distance is being restored. The time. The relationships. The opportunities. The joy. The sense of purpose. The intimacy with me that was the most significant thing the distance disrupted. All of it is being restored. Not just to what it was before. To something better. Deeper. More rooted. More genuinely yours because it was returned to you rather than simply inherited. The restoration is beginning now. Declaration 7. I declare that this is not the beginning of another season of distance. This is the end of the last one. The door is not just open today. It is going to stay open. I am not going anywhere. My love is not going anywhere. My welcome is not going anywhere. The door stays open as long as my love exists. Which is forever. This is not a momentary breakthrough that will fade by morning. This is a turning point. A threshold. A before and after in your story. The distance is behind you. And what is ahead is the life that was always designed to be lived in my presence. Come back, my child. The door is open. I am here. And I have been waiting for exactly this moment. Welcome home. The closing word. My beloved child, as we close today, I want you to sit with something for just a moment. The fact that you found this message today. The fact that you stayed through it. The fact that something in you responded to it. None of that is coincidence. I arranged this. I placed it in your path at this exact moment because I knew you were ready. Maybe more ready than you realize. And the readiness was something I was developing in you even during the distance. Even in the seasons when you were not aware that I was still working. I was preparing you for this moment. For this word. For this turning. So go from this message, my child, with the simple and profound knowledge that the Father is running toward you. That the door is open. That nothing about who you are or what you have done or how long you have been away has changed the invitation. Come back. Not perfectly. Not with everything figured out. Not with the speech memorized and polished. Just come. As you are. To where I am. And I will take care of everything else from there. I love you, my child. More than you have yet been able to fully receive. And I have been waiting. God bless you. Until next time. And before you go, would you seal this moment with a seed? $5 or 10 or 25 or 50 or 100. Whatever is in your hand right now. Scan the QR code on your screen or use the link in the description below. And as you give, say out loud, Father, I am coming home. The door is open and I am walking through it. God bless you, beloved. Until next time. 7 people who came back and found the door open. My child, I want to show you 7 people in Scripture who came back after a season of distance or failure or wandering and who found exactly what I am telling you they would find. An open door. A running Father. A complete and immediate restoration. The first is Peter. Peter denied knowing me 3 times in one night. In my darkest hour, when I needed the people closest to me most, he turned away and said, I do not know him. That is not just a mistake. That is a profound betrayal of relationship. And Peter knew it. The Bible says he went outside and wept bitterly. He carried the weight of what he had done through the crucifixion and through the discovery of the empty tomb and into the confusion of the days that followed. And then I appeared to him on the shore of the lake. I did not confront him. I did not rehearse what he had done. I made breakfast. I fed him. And then I asked him 3 times, do you love me? Once for each denial. And 3 times I restored him. Feed my lambs. Take care of my sheep. Feed my sheep. Peter came back from the worst night of his life. And the door was completely open. The man who denied me became the man who preached at Pentecost and saw 3,000 people added to the church in a single day. The return was real. The restoration was complete. And the impact of what followed was extraordinary. The second is John Mark. John Mark abandoned Paul and Barnabas in the middle of a mission trip. He turned back when things got hard. And Paul was so frustrated by this that when Barnabas wanted to bring John Mark on a subsequent journey, Paul refused. The disagreement was significant enough to split Paul and Barnabas apart. From the outside, John Mark looked like a failure. A person who could not be counted on. But Barnabas believed in him. And later Paul himself wrote from prison, ask for John Mark and bring him with you, for he is helpful to me in my ministry. The person who was written off came back. The door was open. And the one who had failed became the one Paul called helpful in his most difficult season. The person who walks away is not written off by me. The door is open. And the return produces something that the failure could not have produced without the returning. The third is Elijah. Elijah ran from Jezebel after the greatest victory of his life. He sat under a juniper tree and asked to die. He was done. He had nothing left. He had gone as far as he could go in his own strength, and the crash after the pinnacle was complete and devastating. He was as far from his purpose as he had ever been. And I sent an angel. Not with a lecture. With food. Rest. More food. And then a journey to the mountain. And there I came to him. Not in the wind or the earthquake or the fire. In the still small voice. And I asked him, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" Not as a rebuke. As an invitation to talk. To say what was real. And then I gave him a new assignment. Get up and go. There is more for you to do. The one who wanted to die became the one who was taken to heaven in a chariot of fire without tasting death. The distance was real. The despair was complete. And the door was open. The fourth is Jonah. Jonah ran in the opposite direction from where I sent him. Deliberately. He boarded a ship going the wrong way. And I arranged a storm and a great fish and 3 days in the belly of the sea creature. And from the belly Jonah prayed. And I heard. And the fish deposited him on dry land. And the word of the Lord came to Jonah a second time. A second time, my child. After the running. After the disobedience. After the fish. A second time. That is who I am. The one who gives the assignment a second time to the one who ran from it the first time. The door was open. And Jonah went to Nineveh. And the entire city repented. What the running tried to prevent. The return made possible. And the impact was greater than anything Jonah could have imagined from inside the belly of the fish. The fifth is the woman at the well. She had been in 5 marriages, and the man she was currently with was not her husband. She came to the well at noon when no one else would be there, because the social distance created by her history had become the way she lived. She kept her distance from the community. And I was at the well. Waiting. I asked her for water. I offered her living water. I told her everything she had ever done. And the response was not judgment. It was conversation. Genuine conversation between a person carrying a heavy history and the God who knew every chapter of it and was offering something that would change every chapter that followed. She went back into the city and said, "Come see a man who told me everything I ever did." The woman who had been keeping her distance became the evangelist whose testimony brought the whole city out to encounter me. The door was open. And what entered through the open door changed everything. The sixth is the thief on the cross. This man had run out of time. There was no opportunity for a long journey back. No months of demonstrating changed character. No years of rebuilt relationship. He was hours from death. And he turned to me and said, Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. No rehearsed prayer. No theological precision. Just the honest cry of a man who had nothing left to offer and who turned toward me anyway. And my response was, today you will be with me in paradise. Not after a period of proving yourself. Today. The most compressed return in Scripture. And the most complete welcome. The door is open, my child. Even at the last moment. Even when you feel like you have run out of time or opportunity or justification for returning. The door is open. And the seventh is you. My child, I want to include you in this list today because your return is as real as every return I just described. Your coming back after however long the distance has been is as significant to me as Peter's return and Elijah's return and Jonah's return and every other return I have ever celebrated. You are not a lesser case. You are not on the edge of the list as a marginal afterthought. You are in the center of it. Because I love you with the same love that ran toward every prodigal that ever turned around and started walking home. And the celebration that happens in heaven when one person who was lost comes home. That celebration is happening right now. For you. Because you are turning. And the door is open. And I am here. And I have been waiting. Beloved, before you go today, I want to give you one final opportunity to respond to this word. The door is open. The Father is running. The restoration is ready. And the only thing left is your step toward it. Seal this moment with a seed. Scan the QR code on your screen right now or use the donation link in the description below. $5 or $10 or $25 or $50 or $100. Whatever is in your hand. And as you give, say out loud, Father, I am coming home. I believe the door is open. I believe you have been waiting. And I am walking through it now. God bless you, beloved. Until next time.